Hello, welcome all. How are y'all today? I thought I'd come on a little early since I was at home. We'll do a couple hours more, maybe a couple before. A little bit longer stream than normal. Maybe get a little bit more done on this. We'll maybe even go a little bit longer than our normal 8 o'clock. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how things go. How many people show up and all that. So yeah. So let me share this out. Do maybe a quick prayer. Because we might try and do for a bunch of our shows this week we might try and do a little bit longer because we will not be here next week. Although we will be having videos go up next week for the AI and Bible reading. I just did a whole bunch of extra Bible reading stuff today. Let's see. I want that link so I can share on Discord. Okay, so there we go. That's all done. Okay, so last time we finished off on Saturday coloring up, shading and lighting up John Sims here in panel 1. So now we are about to do the same thing with Canadian Shield. He, of course, has a few less colors to work with. So let's grab a color from previous page for the shading. Let's grab our Scalus. Let's see. There we go. Okay, there. Since he's bent over here, we're gonna do right here, and we're gonna do here too. So he's hiding a lot of the light You know, Canadian Shield, Manly Cougar's body is so big that, you know, when he bends over, he can easily hide a lot of the light from hitting parts of his body. And then let's see. John Cena's arm right there. We do a little bit. Okay, so yeah, I'm liking that. Ah, but you know what? We did all of that on the wrong layer. But let's see. Let's see if we can. Is it gonna do? Okay, so we're gonna hopefully come down here to layer one and make all that white. And then we're gonna do that. But I want to take unshow that layer because I. Okay, so I just want to make sure. Okay, it looks like it's what we want. Okay, so there we go. There we go. Now 13 is probably going to be his skin, if I'm correct. Yes, I see his There we go. And let's make sure we don't make the same mistake we just did with the one shading. Hold this now. Did I not have my volume up? No. I wonder who I missed it from. Pat. That's not surprising. Okay, so we also need to make sure we do this as skin, so make sure we're doing I'm gonna do right here because it's technically you're not probably gonna see much of this, but it all. Let's not shade it, but we will. We'll do along here. Okay, normally we have our this is probably the red of his. Yep, just like I figured, red for his chest symbol. Do we have it any sort of red? We have some red right there. And this. What? Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, the question is, will I be able to go 4 hours or more? Hmm. 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 Hey, enjoyed the campaign video. Oh, I'm glad. Um, the one that, well, the one that I put up on the channel, of course, has about the date. But that video will be up on the campaign without the date thing on it. Technically, it's up on the channel, but it is unlisted. You have to have a video to see it without the, on July 5th, 2025 part. I might end up listing it when the campaign goes live on July 5th. Actually, you know what? I know you're probably not the only, you might be the only one here, you might not. Hey, Alpha. Not that there's a lot to see on the campaign at the moment. You guys want to see a quick look behind the scenes? Okay, so let's see. white is not going to show any thing. Well, you could have a reflection of something in the room, I guess, on the white, but his suit's not supposed to be that reflective, that shiny. So, did you guys want to see a little bit behind the scenes of the campaign? Can you guys hear me? Hello? Okay, this is interesting. My mic, the left and the right, seems to be slightly different. Yeah, this is technically behind the scenes. Let me make sure I'm on the right mic here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is behind the scenes, but this is even more behind the scenes. So this is the basics, image, title, Canadian Shield 3. I got to come up with something more than that. If you guys can think of something. The customized thing for it, video, blurb. This is the third installment of the Canadian Shield, and well, probably should be a small he because it's not gone. He faces off against yet another new villain. Top header image, I haven't got yet. Funding, all or nothing. Location, Hamilton. Comic all ages. $500, so we're going for Canadian dollars. Time based. And this is when it's starting. And we're probably going to be going on. Probably going to launch on Dillard's at noon on Saturday, July 5th. Let me get so you can see your comments. Live stream. Let's pop out chat. Will there be a tier for Canadian tier? Yeah, well, yeah, that's not a lot, but I will have paid out of pocket the amount to get everything drawn up and colored and all that and edit it. I've already done most of that. So it's mainly the printing that we're doing and, of course, shipping. So details, campaign manager. Just starting to write the blurb. I am raising funds for printing and hopefully to recoup some of the costs of having the book drawn up and edited. Canadian Shield 3 begins shortly after the events of Canadian Shield 2. In this is introduced a new supporting cast member as well as a new villain. The new villain, Absorb, although he is yet to take the name because it is here where he goes from the beginning. Goes. It is from here where he goes from being an ordinary citizen to a villain. Shouldn't it be priced to get all your money back? Technically, probably yes, but I'm more worried about the printing and being able to print extra copies. I'll probably end up putting in some of my own money to get even more extra copies. That's what I'm mainly worried about. Hopefully, we do get more than enough money to that I recoup all my costs, but my focus is on getting the book out there and print it. The printing at the moment for a lot of copy for even 100 copies, that is the most, to me, the most expensive. Hey Tim. So there's a little bit of that. So here's some rewards. And this is out to your question. Outcast. Reward 1. $5. Digital Shield. With this reward, you get a digital copy of Canadian Shield 3. An expected date to give this to people is Friday, November 28th of this year. So $15 plus shipping for number 2, Physical Shield. And I spelled physical wrong. With this reward, you get a physical copy. Since I spelled it right there, let's change that right now. A physical copy of Canadian Shield 3. And this art is here for the cover is by Chris Tomilevich. It's his rendition of the character either before or after he gets his costume. Rick wants to get. Yes, I do. So, it's $5 to Canada, $10 to the States, and $15 everywhere else in the world. So, reward 3. The first Canadian Shield issue remastered. With this reward, you get a physical copy of the remastered version of the first issue of Canadian Shield. So there's one of your catch-up tiers. Again, it's the same amount there. $30. I should probably do 1 and 2 as well. Make it a little cheaper, but here we have with this reward, Triple Play. You get a physical copy of Canadian Shield 1 Remastered, Canadian Shield 2, and Canadian Shield 3. So there is your catch-up tier, if you will, complete catch-up tier for Canadian Shield for $30 plus shipping. And of course, $10 Canada, $15 in the States, and $20 worldwide. Did I? Okay, I've got a second version of this one for Canadian Shield 1. Oh, second issue of Canadian Shield. Okay, so you can get, for contribution of $10, you can get second issue Canadian Shield as well. So you can get 1 and 2. They are 2 separate tiers. I might do them together. I'm not sure. Will you be combining shipping with multiple orders? Um, I'm going to probably try. With this you select each one that you want, each thing, and I think it just adds it all up. So I'll probably do a tier. Like I said, I've got 1, 2, and 3 as a tier together. I'll probably do 1 and 2 as a tier together, and do a little less shipping there. I'll do my best to make sure there's everything included in different tiers for the things, so you won't need to get a whole different bunch of different tiers unless there's, like, if say you want this tier reward right here, reward 6, let's go to church. With this reward you can, and that's $100, and this is mostly all Canadian funds. With this reward you can have yourself or someone drawn into the church congregation. You will get a digital copy and physical copy of Canadian Shield 3. Not only will you be in this panel, but most likely the next 2 pages after this, as they will also have shots of the church congregation. And, here is a mock-up of the one panel from page 7, I believe. So that is limited to 10 spots. And part of that money will, besides going to me, I will be giving the artists some extra money for doing all this. And I put this, I don't know, I put this the 30th and the other one 28th. So that's what we have for rewards at this time, or will be having for rewards. I'll be adding in hopefully a few more, like Canadian Shield 1 and 2 physical copies. I'll be putting in Canadian Shield 1 and 2 digital versions as well. I was thinking about that the other day, that I had forgot to put in Canadian Shield 1 and 2 for digital. And hopefully shortly after this one ends, we will be having Snowdrift coming up. Snowdrift 2. Because John's faster thing is just be me coloring. So if you want to get this one and you need a catch-up, we should be able to have this plus the catch-up one. And also, you might end up paying a couple bucks extra because you don't get, not getting 1, 2, and 3 in the same thing. But I'm going to definitely try and make sure shipping is as cheap as possible. So that's what I've done so far on the campaign. I've got to get a few more pictures up there. So hopefully that answers any questions. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask, of course. You like ketchup, Tim? I like ketchup too. Will Canadian money be enough? Yeah, well, obviously, if I'm going to Canada Post to send things off, I'm paying in Canadian money. If I'm going to my printer, I'm paying in Canadian money because my printer's here in Hamilton, where I live. So I know what I'm raising in Canadian, what I need in Canadian funds to do this. So and like the worst case scenario, say I got two back. Well, I'm going all or nothing, so I need the 500. But say that is that say that's I don't know, like how many backers would that be? Uh, $15 plus 10, we'll say, because most of you guys are going to be in the States buying. So that's $25 Canadian per thing. So 500, that's 4 for every 100. 4, 8, 16, 20. 20 copies would probably, if I only got 20, printed 20 copies, or say 25 copies, that would probably be less than $500. And then the shipping would be probably, $100 max. Probably the printing would probably be less than 400. So, at that point, the 500 is a break-even mark. Yeah, obviously I want to do more than 500, and I'd probably put in some of my own money for printing. I probably can even get a lot more than, I could probably get 100 copies for $400, $300 or $400. So yeah, Canadian money is definitely going to be enough. Oh, Alpha and Tim, did you see the final cut for the video? You like how for the villain part, I changed up the villains for each of the chorus. Um, I would like to have changed what he was doing to help people in each of the ones too, but I ran out of my credits on thing. My next few AI videos is going to show a bunch of the videos that I had got while trying to do this. Yeah. Well, and on the 20th, I get more credits for my thing. So, and actually, each day I get more credits. So I could go in and change it a little bit. I could hopefully get some helping out people stuff over the next couple days and replace it because I did save it. But it's still with, the rescuing a kid from a fire, in each one. That's still good, I think. I don't think anybody's going to complain. And I'm not really complaining, that's for sure. I'm just saying what I would have liked to done. But you know what? I should play it for posterity reasons, just to advertise my book. So here we go. A man being transported through time by God. An angel appears telling him put on a nearby suit. And after that he must travel south. The suit on he is endowed with incredible powers. Canadian shield with the power of strength. Canadian shield with the power of speed. Canadian shield with the power of flight. Canadian shield with many more powers. Will fight the evil that comes his way and help those he can in need. Another man wanting to end his life. Canadian shield saves him in the nick of time. Now he lets the man know reasons to live. With this the man goes on to live many more days. Canadian shield with the power of strength. Canadian shield with the power of speed. Canadian shield with the power of flight. Canadian shield with many more powers. Will fight the evil that comes his way and help those he can in need. A villain appears and threatens many. Canadian shield rush to the scene. A battle ensues and blows are traded. The Canadian shield wins and many are saved. Canadian shield with the power of strength. Canadian shield with the power of speed. Canadian shield with the power of flight. Canadian shield with many more powers. Will fight the evil that comes his way and help those he can in need. The Canadian Shield 3 coming your way on Fund My Comic on July 5th, 2025 at noon Eastern Standard Time. Be there! Oh yeah! Canadian Shield rocks! And did you notice Frogger, the character that you're gonna have to in for Canadian Shield 4 was in there? That video. Alpha. Yep, he was hopping in there. Yeah. Yeah, I tried to. There was a whole bunch of characters that I could have went with. I really like the cancer one coming up out of the water. Ooh, that was good. It messed up on his claw, but still, that it was good. I liked that one a lot. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, so I don't think there's really anything else to do with Canadian Shield in this panel. We do have to do a little lighting in that on the background. I must say, although the drawing is good in this panel, I don't like the positioning because John Sims should not be right there by in front of that couch like that. He's coming from his chair. Over in that direction. It should show. Here's what I had actually for. Give me a second. I had this all mapped up out myself. That I was in August of 2023, mid August 2023, or till August 31st. I was planning on doing this myself. Might have even had it done by now. Uh, just let's see. Yeah, see here, what we had was you probably should have seen Canadian Shield here at the edge, but we had John Sims a side view walking by a end table here, and then the couch there, which Canadian Shield was on. Or actually, no, Canadian Shield would have been standing up by that point. And then Canadian Shield's up. He's sort of beside that. And John Sims is just the other side of that wall. So you're seeing down the hallway, sort of seeing into the living room and down the hallway at the same time. And then a little bit more just focusing on Canadian Shield saying something. Then we're seeing John Sims just the other side of that wall where Canadian Shield would be just out of frame. And we're seeing into the hall from a different angle. And then even more of a different angle. Canadian Shield's moved over into the hallway, and John Sims has backed up a little bit into the hallway. And I guess you're seeing just over Canadian Shield's shoulder to see John Sims. And then you're seeing Canadian Shield, and behind him, what he's saying, pointing up to God, saying his whole story is because of God. So there was my version of this page, which I really is what I wanted him to do, but in his style, but he didn't do it. Oh. I actually did out most of the book, and I was really wanting him to do it and redo my shots, but in his style. Or in his better artwork. So how did everybody's weekend go? Weekend was okay. I watched Dick Tracy the movie on Saturday. Ah, that's an older movie for sure. Okay, I saw that long, long time ago. Yeah, I think it was out while I was a teen. I never did go see it in theaters, but I watched it on video years later. Let's see, when was that released? It, 1990. Yeah, it would have been in my teens. I would have been 17. Just give me a sec. I have to check on something here. Okay, I'll deal with. Okay. I bought my dad cookies for Father's Day. Oh, cool. Sunday I got pizza. It was overpriced and small. I'll never go back to that place again. Yeah, I get that. Hmm. Uh, it, it was supposed to be a medium margarita pizza, but it was like a small cheese pizza with some diced tomatoes. I could not see the basil leaves. The crust was like a frozen pizza. Super. Oh yeah, for sure. I can see that. I think we'll take that whole thing there. Hmm. Okay, so yeah, I'm lucky that I don't think I've ever had a really bad experience with a pizza joint myself. Not that I can remember, anyways. You know what? I'm gonna not do anything for that one. Let's see, 95. Come up here. We will do a little bit of shading for lights. There we go. Yes, down a little. Do. Okay, so that was 90. What's 73 is probably the couch. There you go, and probably this is just going to be black to shade, and I don't know. Okay, there we go. I think the only thing I really want to put a lighting on is maybe the top of the table here, and I'm not even sure about that. That's Okay, so panel one. What do you guys think? So now we are on to panel two for shading and lighting, which is probably going to be fairly easy. Well, we have, of course, John Sims, but I think he's going to be really easy. You know, just basically two colors. Is that? What am I selected though? Oh, the fingernail. Okay, so let's grab this dark blue from there. Let's go up into the shading, add a thing, and we will go. You gotta love when you think you hit one particular, or you're pretty sure you hit one particular button, if you will. In this case, I was 100% I hit that, but somehow it clicked the frame border, which I did not want. Oh, it's doing the hand. So I got the wrong color, of course. But the thing is, I know we put that hand. I guess there could be light hitting the hand here. So we're definitely putting the fingers there. I think we're going to do here. I think we're going to do there too. We're going to go all the way over here with that. Just trying to think whether I want the whole hand in shadow because that means this whole book, Yellow Pages book, is going to be in shadow. But you know what? I think I do. We're going to keep the thumbnail the same color. Okay, we need that dark blue again that we thought we needed a couple minutes ago, and okay, so now let's, you know what, we're gonna make that all, just gonna make a line right here. There we go. You know what, a little thicker. Okay, I'm liking that. Guess we'll keep that one on and just put a little bit of lighting on the sleeve. Okay, so again, here comes Canadian Shield. A layer there. Okay, so we're obviously putting this area here in gray. And I think this area here is going to be there we go. Oh, There we go. I'm liking that. Okay, then we'll do that. All of that. There we go. Oh. Okay. I like that. I don't think I'm gonna show any shading on that. Okay, there we go. There's that. Shading, lighting now. There's not going to be lighting on the white, but on the skin, yes. Probably should have put some lighting on the hands here in the first panel, but we should be all right without any. That's in there. There we go. I think that looks good for that. And then nobody want to talk about anything? Anything to talk about? Few movies getting released this summer. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Last week I went to see the live action version of Lilo and Stitch, was actually pretty good. I also went to see Karate Kid Legends. I'm probably going to go see the live action How to Train Your Dragon tomorrow. Jurassic World, Superman, Fantastic Four. Yeah, those are all ones I'm probably going to see as well. Oh, and just so you know, next week I'm not going to be here at all. So I might actually be trying to do some lengthier live streams this week. Getting more stuff done on Canadian Shield here. Are you, how much are you looking forward to any of those in particular? Are you looking forward to any of those in particular? Of course, Superman's coming out, what, July 11th? Fantastic Four, I think, July 25th. When's Jurassic World supposed to be coming out? The new Jurassic World? If you know. I'm looking forward to Superman the most. Not sure if I'm seeing it or not. I'll probably go on a cheap day to see it. I don't think I'm gonna do much on the wall there. I don't think I'm gonna do any lighting in this whatsoever, this panel. But we are gonna do some shading. If we look at this panel here, July 2nd is I need you. Oh, so 2 weeks basically. Their shadows are supposed to be going this way. Not my. Actually, I think he had them the other way, but I end up flipping these guys in that panel. So they're going the other way. I'm not even sure whether these guys should be having shadows like this. Especially that long of shadows. They're inside a house. You know, light from windows. In this spot, there are not really any windows. There'd be windows in rooms to the side here, or in the bathroom, which is behind Sims. I don't even know why he put shadows in. Like, see, the other thing I gave him too was I gave him a layout of the house. I gave him pictures of the house. If you see this picture here, let me thicken that up a little. They are supposed to be right here at the moment. Or basically. With Canadian Shield here and John Sims here. Approximately. So, oh, that's panel 2. I'm talking about panel 5 right now. You know what? I'm going to come down, while I'm thinking about this, and I think I'm going to come down to panel 5. And I think I'm just going to keep this dark because just because I guess Canadian Shield blocking some light for his front, but it's not to create shadow. Gonna have to do small. Okay. Yeah. Almost any place else in this thing, like the nuclear power plant that we're going to see again, like I'd have no clue about, layout, but I'm not sure whether I created that layout for him or for me. I think maybe him because I might have created it for myself just because for me to know in planning, because I planned out everything, right? And then I wanted to know, like I showed you this. Like, I'm not sure whether you saw me going over this page earlier. Yeah, and this house can easily be used again because John Sims is going to be a recurring cast member, supporting cast member. Now, usually Canadian Shield's just going to be talking to him by phone, but it doesn't mean you can't place John Sims in his home while talking, show John Sims in his home while talking on the phone. Well, or he could just be anywhere else because it's a cell phone that Canadian Shield will be calling. So, like I planned this out, like here's the first page, and there's stuff of me doing this. I gave him all these pages with this stuff on. There's Canadian Shield, John Sims in the living room. John Sims and the Lazy Boy, Canadian Shield on the couch. Another angle of John Sims on the Lazy Boy across. There's a coffee table there. A different angle up and above, looking down towards the Canadian Shield on the couch. You see the coffee table. See the computer desk. Different, getting we have Canadian Shield almost directly above, seeing the Canadian Shield sitting on the couch with the coffee table there. I was trying to figure out that angle. Then we have a close up of the Canadian Shield face and making a gesture towards John Sims. Sims getting up, Sims coming a little closer to the coffee table. Sims here, just in front of his chair. Actually, these two are a little bit inconsistent, panel 3 and 4, but I hopefully would have caught that. Canadian Shield actually getting up. And then, of course, we have page 3 from earlier. went over. Then we have 4. They're in this hallway. And I actually got this pretty detailed out, as you can see. This was one of my better pages that I had gotten done. Panel 5, him sort of, Canadian Shield sort of explaining his what he went through, a little bit of a close-up of John Sims. Phone ringing. John Sims talking. Still talking, you know. Here they're in the hallway. He's going through the phone book, trying to find the church, grabbing something out of his thing and getting on his shoe, jacket and shoes because he's got to go to an investigation. But what can I say? I had all these shots planned out. I was saying to the guy, just use these shots. And lo and behold, barely uses a thing I had. Can you tell I'm just a little frustrated? Okay, so we were on. Panel 2. Now, with there, I was going to use that idea and put a big shadow on the back of this door, but he's enough away from it that I don't think we would get much of a shadow or any shadow. But let's look. Okay, so there's supposed to be a light here. See, his shot, well, I won't say his shots are inconsistent. Well, they are, but because he didn't put any background, I've had to put all the backgrounds in based on what I wanted. So now my shots are inconsistent where they are exactly. Trying to think, do I really need any shading in the background for this or lighting panel? But I'm thinking no. Yeah, I get that for sure. Oh, I know it. I do need a little bit of shading, no matter what. On the book. There we go. Ah, Okay, maybe we can justify this corner. Where's it? It's just 10. Right there. Okay, where is the ceiling coming from? Well, that's shading. Well, apparently the shit. Oh, what, what am I going to eat for dinner? Rice probably. Although I had some earlier, so I'm good probably for now. Myself probably end up eating later tonight if I get hungry. Although I'll try not to. Although I might go quickly grab a sip of juice. So Canadian rice. Yeah. I don't know what brand. What does that look like? Any other rice? I'll be right back. Here's Canadian rice. I put it in the container. There's rice. Mm. Although we have all different types of rice here. There you go. There's the rice. The rice that we don't want to give to the mice. So, panel two. What do you think? Okay, so let's see. We're gonna have this. Oh, damn it! I hate it when I do things on the wrong level or layer, whatever you want to say. Then I have to go redo it all. Okay. Um, you know what you're having for dinner? Alpha. Dabba dabba doo, Scooby Dooby Doo. Doesn't seem like anybody really wants to be seeing this. Fill it up. Okay, there we go. That looks good, I think. Is anybody even here? Chat rate 0. There's 3 concurrent viewers, so we have 3 people here. I'm still here. I'm drawing. Okay. Just trying to think. We did get the top 3 panels completely. Oh, 2.5 hours. Normally I start at 6. I start at 4. I want to go to 8. So that's an hour and a half. Oh, I don't know. What you drawing? Outcast. That weekend. Your comic? I'm working on the second panel of page 11. Oh, cool. How many pages is your comic going to be? Or do you know yet? The plan was 12. I added 2 more, so right now it's currently 14, but I'm going to add more pages, so it might end up being either 24 to 28 page book. Okay, cool. That's about well, 24 for sure is about the size of a regular comic. A floppy is. It's called, which you would know. Uh, so I think 24 pages is definitely a good size to have. So when you're done it, are you going to crowdfund it or you just gonna release it out into the wild and hope for the best? Not sure yet. Well, I would definitely suggest the crowdfunding, and then the problem is you just got to end up on a lot of shows. Contact everybody and their brother and say, "Can I be on your show? I got a comic book to show." Purdy, purdy, please. Or if you have it on just some website, you can still do the same thing. Get it on a whole bunch of children and say, "Hey, yeah, I got this book on somewhere." But I think it's better that unless you're putting it on Amazon or whatever, where they will print it up as people order it, I think it's a little bit better myself just to do the whole crowdfunding. That way you get the money for printing and all that, and then send it out yourself. Although there's something to be said about the Amazon way because then you don't have to worry about shipping and all that. Sort of the way Tim is doing it right now. But I'm not sure whether it's easier or harder to get on shows or something like that. But you could say, "Hey, it's ready. You order it, and it'll be to you in a few days." And yeah, the shipping costs are down because it gets printed near whomever. Oh, cool, cool, cool. Well, let me know when you're ready to do the crowdfunding or doing about to do the crowdfunding because You know, you can definitely come on here and share out. I'll let you come on. We can do a little bit of a talk section and, go over your campaign and all that. I think you've seen some of my talk shows, my talk with. I know I don't have the most super number of people. I'm sure if you reached out to Dillard, he could get you on. I could give you a few other people. I'm sure Chris and Diana would have you on too. Okay, let's see. We had the belt, I think, in panel two. Buckle. Like that. Okay, we're gonna save that for a sec. I want to go grab another sip of juice. Technically, it's iced tea, but you catch my drift. I might just go to 7 for now. Get this panel done. And you're welcome. I know Schroeder said that. I'm probably going to do extra time all week. Dabba dabba doo, Scooby Doo, I love you. So your book's about that Raven character that you showed a few weeks ago, right? Or that you sent a picture of me a few weeks ago? Outcast? The character's name is Angel of Death. Okay. But that's the one that you sent me a few weeks ago, right? Showed it off here. So the way he punishes people is that he can take up to 10 years of their life using skulls that go through their body. So he's a bit like the Punisher. In that he's like an anti-hero, I guess is the best way to say it. Think of him like Ghost Rider. Okay, a little bit more Ghost Rider than Punisher. I think we're not going to do any lighting on him. I'm wanting to be lazy. In my universe, he is considered an E-human. Okay. And what is an E-human? Is there an A human, a B human, a C human, a D human? Isn't there any dehumanizing? The 19 in the 1970s, an asteroid exploded. Okay, and I guess affected people some way, somehow. On the western side of the USA, carrying spores that created E-humans. And what does this E stand for? How long the spores? How long with the spores on? Along, I think you mean. Along with the spores on the asteroid. So a liquid metal that I call biometal. The E stands for event. Okay. Okay, so there we go. We now have 4 panels, I'd say, done on this page. I could probably get the next panel done with it in but I don't know. I'm a little mind numbed at the moment. So I think I need to take a break. I doubt I'm getting back on, but I could get back on later tonight in an hour or two for an hour or two. So I'm going to say bye for now. Have a good day. We'll catch you later. God bless. We'll be back on tomorrow for sure. Hopefully, we're going to come on a little early tomorrow, like 9 o'clock. So, bye for now. God bless. Have a great night.